Okay, so I'm going to start out. I made a bubble diagram. I saved it as a JPEG, and I'm going to start out by just inserting that into my Revit first floor plan. This isn't necessary if you have multiple monitors, but if you are working on a single monitor, this might be an easy way to do it, or you can toggle back between the different screens. But insert, image, my bubble diagram, and I just click right there. Now I have my bubble diagram in my uh, drawing. So I've got this bubble diagram, kind of shows how I want the house to spaces to be related to each other. And we made that first stacked wall. So I'm just going to start there. Architecture, wall. I'm looking for that stacked wall that we made. And I just make sure that the properties here, the constraints are right. I want the base constraint to be the bottom of the basement wall. I want the top constraint to be the top of the second floor wall. And I'm just going to put that wall in, plain and simple. I've got that wall, and I'm suggesting that this wall represents the corner of the library here. Now, I can continue to put more walls in. It's kind of easy to simply copy it using this copy command and then rotate it using the rotate command. I'm typing the rotation that I want, and then I just move that wall down, but I want to see this little grip. I'll drag it over, and then to clean those corners up, I use this, which Revit calls trim extend, but I still call fillet from my AutoCAD days. And now I got my first corner of my library. Okay, now maybe I want the library to stick out a little bit from the rest of the house. So I can take this wall, which I've already made, the constraints are already set, and use the mirror command, which is this one, and simply click 2 points, and it mirrors around that imaginary point. Back to the fillet again, and now I have my library put in. The wall between the library and the stairs is not a stacked wall, it's the 2x4 or 2x6 wall that we made. So I'll simply go back to architecture, tab, and I'm looking for my 2x4 wall, and I'll just grab that and put it in here real quick. So now I've started making my library. And it's a point where I want to stop and take a look at it and say, well, what basic dimensions do I want this room to be? So I'll take this dimension, and I want to make sure that I'm going to the wall faces, so we can set this up to dimension from various things: center line, wall faces, center of the core, face of the core, but I want to use the wall faces, so that's going to go to the inside. And let's say that this office or library, that looks pretty big to me in that dimension. And I'm going to go here and go from this wall face to this wall face. And they're both odd shapes, odd dimensions, but say 12 feet is probably a good dimension to start out with for that. So I'm just going to take and click on this wall. That activates this dimension. I'm just going to type 12, and now my dimension is 12 feet. And in this direction, so in this direction, I might want to make it 14 feet. Now, when we're dimensioning to a stacked wall, generally we have to actually go and activate the dimension. So activate the dimension. Now I can click on that and say, well, 14 feet, maybe that's good. And that begins my layout of my house, and that's how I started. So now if I say, for the stairs, I want this space to be maybe 7 feet or something like that. I'm going to put another interior wall, and then I'm going to mirror this wall just about 2 points and say that this wall is going to be the outside of the powder room. So I put it way far away when I mirrored it, but let's say that works. I use this fillet command again, and now have my space for my powder room. And this is an exterior stacked wall. It's probably not going to go that far on joining the elements because it was connected to these walls. And then I'll copy this from here to here and fill it. And now that's going to start to define my foyer. I want to grab this wall and copy it. Copy it over here. And I'm going to copy this wall and rotate it 90 degrees. And we always want to make sure that the gypsum board lines up because we want smooth walls there. So I'm going to use this command, which is align, and I'm going to say align the face of this wall with the face of this wall. And I'm not worried about the error message that I'm receiving because I'll just use the fillet command again and again. Let's see how this works here and here. And that kind of cleaned it up. So now I know where this wall is going to be. So that's how this wall has to align, 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 and align. So now they line up. And I'll use the fillet command to clean up my outside walls like that. And then I'll use the align command here to just align the edge of that wall to that. And I can grab these two walls real quickly and just use this little grip to grab that back to there, and it cleans itself up. To grab that back to there, and it cleans itself up. And essentially I've got my stairs, space for my stairs, and space for my powder room. So I have my library now, my stairs, and my powder room right over here. Okay, and in the powder room is space. I'll probably have a guest closet as well. So let's put some quick dimensions in. Another way to continue this dimension line is to click on it, edit the witness line, and then just keep going. Keep clicking on things that you want it to align to. And there's our dimensions. Click outside of it. Click on this wall. I want this dimension to be 7 feet. So that pushes that wall back to there. Now I want to move this wall so that, and now this is a stacked wall, so I have to use the activate dimension again. And I'll maybe make my powder room 6 feet deep. Okay, and then I don't need that, it's clutter. Get rid of it, get rid of it. So I have approximately the sizes of the 3 first rooms that I want. The next thing I would do maybe is, it's starting to get a little too close here, so I might grab all of these things and just move them over so I have a little bit more room. And then I'm going to click on this wall, mirror it. Notice I'm not worried about where it is. If there's another wall I want here, I'm just going to copy it back to there. And then let's clean that up. Fill it, fill it, fill it, fill it. And then put a dimension in there to kind of get an idea of what I want that space to be. 21'6" for now, that's okay. I'm happy with the size of that. So now I have my living room, my powder room, my stair area, and I have my library. Okay, I want to put the foyer in there too. I don't know, maybe it's going to line up all the way across. I don't know, maybe it's not. Maybe the foyer is not going to be as wide as the living room. I have a dining room that I have to put in there. So I have an interior wall. I'm simply going to copy it over. Maybe I'll put it right here. And this wall, I'm going to copy over too because that's part of my hallway. And then fill it that to clean it up. And so I want another wall. This is circulation, so I'm going to grab this and just copy it up a little bit and then align it. Use the align command here to align to this wall. And this is probably not going to be an exterior wall right here, so I can pull that back a little bit. So I'm going to grab this wall and pull it back. Then I'm going to grab this wall and copy it over here. And then use that align command again, because I want my the face of my gypsum board to be flush all the way across. See that it is. And I know that this guy isn't going to project like that, so I'll pull him back to here. And this guy, I guess I could have used the fillet command too. But anyway, I've cleaned it up. Now I can put my kitchen in, And I'm going to copy this wall, and I'll just copy it over here. And I like my kitchens to be about 16 feet wide, so I'll put another dimension in from here to here and hit escape, click on this wall, click on this dimension and say 16 feet. Now I've got my kitchen in there. Okay, so let's take this wall and say it's going to keep going back. And I'm going to have a laundry, which looks like it's going to have an outside wall too. So I'll copy this wall over to here. And that's going to be this wall right here. How far apart do I want the laundry room to be? Well, let's say 12 feet. It's a nice laundry room. So from the face of this wall to the face of that, I'll just click on it. Whoops, it's a stacked wall, so I can't just click on the dimension. I have to activate it. And now I can click on it and say 12 feet. Okay, starting to get in the way again, so I'm just gonna grab everything. And just like AutoCAD, if you do a crossing window, it's gonna select everything that's inside of it when you click first at the top right and then down at the bottom left. But if you click from the bottom left to the top right, it's only going to select everything that's completely inside of the window. And I'll just move it again because I don't want to move my picture. I just want to move that. So now I've got my kitchen, which is here, my laundry room, which is here, and let's work on the dining room. Okay, so let's say that I want to make that dining room, say maybe 16 feet wide. So I just come over here, put a dimension in from here to here, and hit escape, hit escape, click on the wall, 16 feet, and there's my dining room. What's next to the dining room is a powder room, and that's common wall with the garage, so I have to put the garage wall in. I forgot what I called that, so I have it over here as an example. Let's just hover over it. Stud garage wall is what I called it. So architecture wall, click on that. Oh, here I have it, stud garage wall. So I'm going to just put that right here. Can't make the wall because I didn't pay attention to the constraints. So wall, and it starts at the bottom of the basement wall, and I'm going to send it up to the top of the second floor wall for now anyway. Boom, boom. There's my wall. And the insulation and the plywood are on the wrong side. They should be on this side, not this side. So to flip that wall, I just click on it and hit the space bar. And now I've split it like that. So we wanted a powder room here. Dimension it from here to here. How wide do I want the powder room? Let's say I want it to be 6 feet. I have to activate the dimension because it's going to a stacked wall. So activate the dimension and say 6 feet. All right, that's going to continue this wall down this way because I have a hallway here, and that's a big laundry room. But well, let's do it. So I'm going to have a wall that's common to the garage again. So I'll pull this wall over here and simply align it. Go back to modify, back to align the gypsum boards up there like that. And that's a garage wall. This is a garage wall. Actually, this is going to be a garage wall too then, isn't it? So I'm going to click on this wall, pull it back to here. I'll copy this wall, rotate it 90 degrees, and then align the gypsum board up from here to here. And fill it, these two walls. And I can grab this wall and just drag it over a little bit and see what happens, how nicely it cleans itself up. Okay, so this is my garage. Then I need to put my garage wall in. I have it over here. What's this called? It's called Garage Wall House 2. Okay, so I'm just going to go in here and architecture wall. Click here. I have garage wall. Oh, so I have to look for my stacked wall now. So I'll click on that and I'm going to look for my garage wall, house 2. You can see that they're alphabetized, so I can scroll down garage. Uh-oh. Garage. Looking for it here. Stud garage. Brick. Garage wall house 2. Garage wall house 2. There it is. Okay, so I'm going to put that. Oops, got to pay attention to the heights of it. Oh, I don't want it to be the first floor. I'll change that bottom of the garage footing. And for now, we'll let it go up to the second floor. We're still just drawing. So I got to put a garage in here. That's the outside wall of the garage. I'm going to copy that from here to here and then rotate it, making sure that the brick is on the outside, type 90 degrees. You can see that the brick of this wall is an outside wall, so the brick should be on the outside, not the inside. So I'll click on that and hit the space bar. Now the brick is in the right spot. I'll pull this over to here and fill it this and this. And that's going to be a garage, outside garage wall here. So I'll just escape, click on this wall, mirror it straight up, and let's align, or let's fill it. We're going to fill it this and this wall, and then we'll fill it this and this wall. And then I'm going to take this garage wall and bring it down to here. And I want the gypsum boards to line up. So I'm going to align here and here. And then I want my garage to be 22 feet deep, approximately. There's no right or wrong here, but at least a minimum of 20 feet. And I'll just put that dimension right there. Click on my stacked wall. I have to activate the dimension, change that to 22. There's my garage. I'm going to put another garage over here. So I'll copy this up to here. I'm going to take this wall and just mirror it so that the brick is on the outside and the back. I'll fill it these two. It's always a good idea to save your project. No. Okay, and then I want to fill it this garage wall and this garage wall. And I need to put another one here. This will make sense in a second of how I'm doing it. It's a staggered garage. So I'll do this. And this, there's my garage. This wall sticks out like that. Let's clean that up again and see what happens. Okay, that looks good. This is going to come back to here because this is an inside wall. So I'll fill it with that. That's an outside wall. And there I basically have started to lay it out. If we take a look at it real quickly, I've got my library, which is here, my stairs, which are here, my powder room, which is here, my living room, which is here, my foyer, which is here, my dining room, which is here, my powder room or back hall lab, which is here, my laundry room is over here, and my garage is here, and then this is going to be my kitchen and my breakfast. So how deep do I want the laundry room to be? I need to have another outside wall there, so I'll simply copy it. Put it over here, clean it up. And so I know that I'm going to have another wall, outside wall over here, so I'm going to copy this one. Oops, that was a mistake. I'll just delete it. Uh-oh, I better do the undo because I lost that wall. All right, so I'm going to copy this wall over to here. The gypsum boards have to line up, so I'm going to just use this tool, which is the align command. I'm going to align this with this, and I'll copy this outside wall back over here and fill it this and this, fill it this and this, and then fill it this wall and this wall. Okay, look at that. Now let's clean this guy up. I can drag it or use the align command, but I'll just drag it back for now. The wall cleans itself up right there. Everything looks good. I'll do the same thing with my laundry room. I'll drag it back here. And this dimension, that's a huge laundry room, so I'll put that dimension in there. Take a look at it. Maybe, let's say 14 feet. It's a stacked wall, so I have to activate the dimension. I'm going to change that by just typing in 14. And essentially, look what I've got. I've got my house pretty well laid out here, except I was paying attention to the inside dimensions instead of the outside dimensions. So now I got to pay attention to the outside dimensions. Because remember, we said that it has to be even numbers all the way across. So I'll do that. I'm going to come over here, put my dimensions to the face of the brick, all the way out there. Try to grab that wall, this wall, this wall, boom, okay? Now let's take a look at what we have. So I need to change that to 14'4". I'll just click on this wall, activate the dimensions and change that to 14'4". Now I've got a good number there. That's 23'5½". I'll change it to 23'6". Activate the dimension, change that to 23'6". Now notice that these don't line up anymore, so I'm going to go back in and align those. Doesn't line up with anything else, so we're good there. 16'4" is okay, 12'4½" is not, so I'm going to modify. I'll click on this wall, activate the dimensions and make that 12'4". And then my last one is 22'11", so I'll change that, activate the dimension, change that to 23 feet. So now all of my dimensions on side to side from the back are good. I'll do the same thing down here in the front. I'm always dimensioning to the face of the brick. Come down here. Now I can't move this wall because that'll mess up this dimension, so I have to move this wall. I got 15'11". I'm going to make that 16 feet. What did that do? Oh, 30. So now I have to move this one, 35'4". I'll just make it 35'4" and 7. Oh. So activate the dimension, 35'4". Okay, and then I need to fix this one to make it 24 feet. Activate the dimension, 24. What's left? 14'2". So now those dimensions are all good. Do the same thing on the side now. I'm going to click here, here, and here. I'll come over here and see what I need to do to fix that. Well, let's change. I can't move. Well, I guess I could move this wall, but I'll change this one. Activate the dimension and say 27'6". And then I have to fix this one too. So I click on this wall because that's the one I want to move. And we'll say 27'8" by activating the dimension. Okay, so now those are even numbers. I'll come over here, take a look at that. I can't move this wall now because that'll change this dimension. So I have to change this one. 7'6" is fine. 7'6" is fine. And now I want to take a look at this dimension, which is right here, and that's 4'10". Let's make it an even 5 feet. So I'll activate the dimension again, just make it an even 5 feet. And now I got to go back over here. Now this is a question of this dimension from here to here to here to here to here to there. What do we have? All right, well, I'll start right here and just make that, activate the dimension, and I'm going to make that 1'8". And then I have to change this dimension, so I'll activate it, and I'm gonna say 11'4". Okay. 16'4". That's gotta be an even number, so I'll change this wall, activate the dimension, and just make that 2 feet. That leaves me with 17 feet 9. I'm gonna make that 20 feet because I want a 2-car garage. So I'll activate the dimension, change that to 2 feet. So now, whoops, that was a big mistake. I wanted to make it 20 feet, not 2. Activate the dimension, click on it, 20 feet. So now I have a 2-car garage there. This could be a 1-car if I wanted it. It's an even number, so my dimensions are good. So then I just go in and see what happened inside. So now you can see that we got an issue here. Let's clean that up. So I'll align those 2 pieces of gypsum board right there. Everything looks good. Come around. This is not looking good. So I have to align that. So I'm going to align that and that. Now my gypsum board aligns all the way around there. Everything looks good. What about here? That looks good. Come down to here. That doesn't look good. And now that's a little bit of a problem, and I'll deal with that later. But in order for this to be an even number and this to be an even number, I don't think I can make those 2 line up. So let's just measure it and see if that's an even distance from here to here. Oh, it is. Oh, but it's an inch. So I have a problem there. I'm going to have to do something in order to make that line up, but I'll worry about that later. So anyway, that's the, take a look at it. That's essentially the beginning of the layout now. I'll go back in and put in doors and maybe windows, put some cabinetry in. And as I do that, it'll fine tune the, it will definitely fine tune the entire layout even more, but this is my very beginning just to get the walls in there. So this was a tutorial to show you how quickly we can lay something out to begin with. This is our base. Absolutely guarantee that this won't be the finished first floor plan, because as I try to put in walls and I try to put in other details, I'm going to notice some things that I'm not happy with, and I'm going to have to fix those. But for the beginning, just to show you how easy it is to go from your bubble diagram to your first floor plan, once you have your stacked walls made, this is a pretty simple tutorial on how to do that.